For 27 years, the Audi Allroad has played it safe. A taller wagon, a bit more plastic cladding, same old formula. That ends right now. This is the 2027 Audi A6 Allroad, and for the first time ever, it's wide body. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this might be the most important Allroad Audi has ever built, and whether it's actually worth your money. If you're new here, I've spent 20 years driving, testing, and tearing apart everything from family wagons to full supercars, and this is Alvan Global. I'm breaking this car down in 4 parts: the exterior, the interior and tech, the performance, and at the end, my honest take on whether you should actually buy one. Let's get into it. Here's the headline number. This car is 111 millimeters wider than the standard A6 Avant. That's not a styling tweak, that's a completely different stance. And it's not subtle about it. Audi flared the wheel arches out hard to wrap around wheels up to 21 inches. And the result is something that looks less like a grocery getter wagon and more like it's borrowing DNA from the RS6. Up front, you get this imposing single-frame grille, but look closer at the inserts. They're vertical hexagons, and they're not just decoration. Audi designed them specifically to draw your eye upward, visually exaggerating the ride height. It's a small trick, but it works. Matrix LED headlights up front, and around back, OLED 2.0 taillights with dynamic coming home and leaving home light sequences. Basically a little light show every time you unlock the car. Now here's where Allroad actually earns its name. This thing sits 34 millimeters higher than the A6 Avant as a baseline. And with the adaptive air suspension, you get up to 55 millimeters of total adjustment range. The lower cladding and reworked side skirts aren't just for looks either. They're scratch-resistant, built for actual trail use. And finishing it off, premium dual exhaust tips that remind you this isn't just an off-road tool, it's still an Audi. So visually, this is the boldest Allroad in the nameplate's history. But does the engineering back it up? Let's pop the hood. Open the door, and the first thing that hits you is how this cabin is dominated by one continuous curved panoramic screen. You've got an 11.9-inch virtual cockpit for the driver, flowing directly into a massive 14.5-inch MMI touchscreen in the center. It's not 2 screens bolted together, it's one seamless housing. And if you option it, the front passenger gets their own 10.9-inch display, angled specifically out of the driver's sightline, so they can stream video while you're driving, completely legally, completely separately. Audi's also built in a native AI assistant backed by ChatGPT. So this isn't some clunky voice command system from 5 years ago. You can actually talk to this car like you talk to an assistant. Here's a detail most reviewers will skip past, but I think it's the coolest part. Because this is the Allroad, the infotainment includes specialized off-road readouts, live pitch and roll angle monitoring. You can literally watch how tilted your car is in real time when you're off pavement. Material-wise, Audi stretched soft-touch surfacing horizontally from the dash straight into the door panels. No hard brakes, no cheap transitions, and wrapped it in customizable ambient contour lighting. The panoramic roof uses smart glass. Tap a button and it shifts from fully transparent to opaque. No mechanical shade needed. The seats can be optioned with individual contouring, heating, ventilation, and massage. There's an air purification package for the cabin, and if you really go all in on the options list, you get a 20-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system with speakers built directly into the front headrests. That's not a gimmick, that's genuinely next-level audio engineering. This cabin isn't just luxurious, it's purposeful luxury, built for a car that's supposed to take you from a board meeting to a gravel road without missing a beat. Audi is launching the 2027 Allroad with 2 electrified powertrains, both running through Quattro all-wheel drive and an 8-speed automatic. No base weak sauce engine here. Both options bring real power. Option 1, the 3.0-liter V6 TDI Mild Hybrid Plus, 299 horsepower, 580 newton-meters of torque, 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds, in a wagon built for towing and trail duty. That's quick. And here's the clever part. The new PHEV Plus system has a powertrain generator that adds up to 24 horsepower of low-speed electric boost, and it powers an electric compressor that basically kills turbo lag, so that power shows up the instant you ask for it. Option 2, and this is a first for the Allroad, a plug-in hybrid. The 2.0 TFSI-E hybrid pairs a turbo 4-cylinder with a 105 kilowatt electric motor for a combined 367 horsepower and 500 Newton-meters of torque. 0 to 100 in 5.5 seconds, nearly as fast as the diesel, but now you've also got up to 95 kilometers of pure electric range off a 20.7 kilowatt-hour battery. That means most people could commute all week and never burn a drop of fuel. Now, let's talk about what makes this an Allroad and not just an A6 with a lift kit. The adaptive air suspension is standard and it's smart. Flip into off-road or off-road plus mode and the car lifts an extra 15 millimeters, loosens the traction control, and optimizes the electronic diff locks for low-grip terrain. But push past 120 kilometers per hour on the highway, it automatically drops 20 millimeters because Audi's not just thinking about trails, they're thinking about aerodynamics and stability at speed too. And then there's the party trick. All-wheel steering. At low speeds, the rear wheels turn up to 5 degrees opposite the front, shrinking the turning radius dramatically. Parking this wide-body wagon is suddenly way less intimidating than it looks. Oh, and if you need to tow, up to 2,500 kilograms on the diesel, 2,000 kilograms on the PHEV, this is still a workhorse underneath all that style. Engineering-wise, this car is trying to be 3 things at once: a performance Audi, an off-roader, and a daily driver. So far, it's pulling it off. So after 20 years of doing this, here's my honest read on the 2027 Audi A6 Allroad. This is the most significant update this nameplate has ever received. Audi didn't just raise the ride height and call it a day. They widened the body, gave it real off-road intelligence, added a genuine plug-in hybrid option, and built a cabin that competes with cars twice the price. If I had to nitpick, at this size and weight, I want to see real-world fuel economy numbers and a final price before I call this a slam dunk. But on specs, on design, on ambition, Audi swung big here and it connected. If you're cross-shopping this against an RS6 Avant or a Mercedes E-Class All-Terrain, comment below. I might make that comparison video next. If this video gave you a real first look at the 2027 Allroad, do me one favor. Hit that subscribe button right now, because I'm covering every major launch like this one first before anyone else. Drop a comment. Would you take the diesel for range and towing or the plug-in hybrid for that 95-kilometer electric range? I read every single comment, and I want to know. This has been Alvan Global. I'll see you in the next one.